In case you haven't seen this, a Florida sheriff had a press conference informing protesters of what they can expect from his officers should they act in a way that he doesn't like.
If you spit on us, you're going to the hospital and in jail. If you hit one of us, you're going to the hospital and jail, and most likely get bitten by one of our big, beautiful dogs that we have here. If you throw a brick, a firebomb, or point a gun at one of our deputies, we will be notifying your family where to collect your remains at, because we will kill you graveyard dead.
There seems to be a running theme with a lot of sheriffs in Florida specifically, who seem to view press conferences as their opportunity to try out like their own Dirty Harry speech. To just sit there and be like, what can I say that makes me sound like tough as nails? And what's equally disgusting is how many people eat that shit up and think they're somehow profound by saying this. I have a mutual who's a combat veteran who was stationed in Iraq. He said while he was there, they had people throw rocks at them, throw Molotov cocktails at them, throw saw blades at them, and never once did they fire at them. In fact, they had specific instructions not to shoot at unarmed civilians in Iraq, but apparently a sheriff in Florida views a brick thrown in the general direction of his officers as a green light to have to notify their next of kin. The chief of police in Austin also had a press conference to address upcoming protests and to address bad things that could happen. And I want you to listen to how she laid it out for everyone.
So I'm looking at 4 philosophies that I have here with these protests. Reasonable, restricting the fewest freedoms possible. I want people to protest. I will be there with you. I will facilitate that as best I can. Peaceful protest and peaceful assembly. Disarming, limiting the use of force, the coercion and intrusiveness. I don't want officers to have to make arrests. I don't want officers to use force. Focused, we target only harmful behaviors and conditions. So the goal is, within a crowd, agitators are really good at hiding behind people that are there to peacefully assemble. And what they do is they'll create this chaos. We're going to have targeted enforcement into those people and remove them from the protest and allow this protest to continue on. That's the goal. And then consistent, deploying predictable and unbiased tactics. That is our goal, and that's what we will do.
Do you see the difference? He sounded like he was almost giddy and hopeful that someone might act out in a way that gives him and his deputies an opportunity to end someone's life. Whereas she plainly states, hey, don't put us in that position. We don't want to arrest you. We don't want to have to take your life. Go, protest, be respectful. Let's all go home tonight. This morning, I am attending a protest in a place where law enforcement doesn't think like that chief in Austin. We'll just leave it at that. A place where I think they probably want an excuse to crack some heads. If I see protesters being violent or being disruptive, I'm going to step in and try and stop them from doing that. But if I see law enforcement trying to find an excuse to hurt citizens, I'm going to broadcast that in a giant fucking way. Please be careful out there. Look out for yourselves and for each other.